Hello. No, I'm not David Attenborough, although like David I do have a blue shirt. And like David my joints creak and my voice isn't what it used to be. And like David I appreciate nature and the environment and the creatures around us. But unlike David I don't have a huge production team with various fancy gadgets like dung cam, mirror cam and elephant cam. So I have to depend on my garden cam. GardenCam comprises tripod cam, which is a three-legged contraption with legs that can be adjusted in length. At its apex is a platform on which is mounted video cam. This can be tilted to an angle or rotated, and the platform can be raised or lowered with a wind-up handle. Together, tripod cam and video cam make up GardenCam. Remove the camera and it becomes a man cam. Or if it's in the hands of the fair sex, it's a lady cam. And GardenCam and I would like you to join us as we search the garden for little creatures to capture on video. We need to be careful as wild animals can be found. A miniature Indian tiger with its striped coat bleached white by the UV rays in the harsh New Zealand sunlight. Look at its wild eyes. We'd better move on. 3 years ago I got some great insect shots in the garden, but since then the insects have been noticeable for their absence. And any that are around are keeping well hidden. With the warm days of spring, maybe we will have more luck. Hibiscus are one of nature's most fascinating flowers. And look, there's an insect, but it's only an ant. My Pohutucara was in flower before Christmas, which usually indicates a good summer to follow. And this was the case, as we had several warm, dry months. A bee, but he's gone. My Pohutucara leaves get attacked by an insect which I've never managed to find, but over time the leaves appear to try and repair themselves. Our dry January meant gardens were quiet, as few cicada were around. Although their discarded shells could be found, an adult cicada would have emerged from this. This corner of the garden used to have snails, but nowadays a few old shells is all that's to be found. But we are not getting very far with finding live insects. There must be some somewhere. By now my veggie garden was underway, and this usually attracts hungry creatures. A bee pollinating my cucumbers, and listen carefully, there's the sound of cicadas. A small white butterfly, possibly looking to lay eggs. You may have noticed these orange needles lying on leaves. They get blown down from a neighbour's banksia tree. And as my vegetables matured, some insects appeared. A caterpillar enjoying one of my tomatoes. He seems to be sleeping after a heavy lunchtime snack, while his feet are firmly fixed to a leaf above. Below, another convenient leaf provides an outside open-air toilet, presumably self-flushing when it rains. Meanwhile, at the other end of the garden, among the mint, we have some yellow ladybird visitors. These busy little creatures do not eat insects. Instead, they feed on fungus and are found during the day on plants infected with fungus or black mould. Meanwhile, back at the caterpillar homestead, another smaller caterpillar had taken up residence. But the original occupier wasn't far away, sunning himself on a leaf before climbing back in to stake his claim. Overnight we had some welcome rain, but it didn't flush the outside loo. A few days later I found the caterpillar home empty and a sorry looking tomato. But never mind, there are plenty more, although some also have souvenirs. I searched among the leaves and tomatoes for the caterpillars, but couldn't find them. Maybe they had been eaten by a larger predator. This one is singing in the rain. Although tui are known for eating nectar, I believe they also eat insects. Insects can also be consumed by smaller insects. I cannot tell what this unfortunate insect originally was, but hopefully it had expired before the ants discovered it. This one is easily recognised. I'm not a fan of weta at the best of times. I wonder how the ants get through its tough body armour. Next morning when I checked, I found they had made a way in underneath. And spiders' webs can catch more than leaves. This was probably once a cockroach. The owner of the web wasn't around, but it looks like it's already had several good meals. Cockroaches aren't the most attractive of insects, but juveniles aren't too unpleasant. Their long antennae are used to evaluate their surroundings. This one was on the other side of a glass door, so wasn't bothered by me, but the backlighting highlights how dusty the glass is. My vegetable garden was now rewarding me for my efforts. You cannot beat fresh vegetables for the kitchen table. Back to the insect search. A cicada on my conservatory roof. This one's a female and silent. It's the males that make the noise, trying to attract the ladies. By now summer was starting to turn into autumn, and cicada shells were covered in webs and swinging in the autumn winds. And my veggie garden was shrinking and drying up. Then GardenCam found this mantis among the rose bushes. It was a windy day, making framing and focusing difficult, and our subject kept moving around, displaying her acrobatic abilities and upside down hanging skills. She's a very pregnant female, looking for somewhere to lay her eggs. But not here, lady, as I'll be pruning the roses in a few weeks. And Now it's winter and GardenCam and I give up for this year. But we are left wondering, where have the insects that used to visit the garden gone? It's a mystery. Maybe their absence has something to do with climate change, or possibly our long, warm, dry summer.